All right, hello everybody. My name is Logan. This is my internship presentation. So a little bit about my education first before I get into the internship. So first of all, within the discipline, the classes that I took within the agricultural field at Tarleton that helped me out kind of in the real world and just kind of what I thought was the most important out of those classes. So the first one is agricultural power units. And the reason that I chose agricultural power units is because it dealt a lot with engines, hydraulics, that sort of thing, and I just think those were so invaluable to my learning experience. My internship is within a vehicle dealership, and so knowing about the vehicles, how they operate, how the engines and how the hydraulics in them work, that's been very important to me, and it's helped me out a lot, as well as just having skills from this class that I can use kind of in my daily life and just for the rest of my life have been super helpful to me. Also, block. Block is my second pick because they taught us so much in block about just professionalism, your finances, personal finances, and just job opportunities out there and things we can do with our degree. And that was super important to me, and so I really valued block and what we learned there, and that's why I chose it for my second one. The last one within the discipline is agricultural sales, and the reason I chose this one is because obviously my internship focused very heavily on sales. You know, believe it or not, many of the jobs out there are sales jobs, and so that's why agricultural sales are so important, because not only is it sales, but it's focused on agriculture, and so that helps me a lot, just learn about sales and how the way people work and how to overcome objections and that sort of thing. Kind of moving on now to beyond discipline, classes that I took that were not agriculturally related, but were still very important in my learning and just my overall kind of time at Tarleton. So the first one that I chose for this was Chemistry 1. The reason I chose chemistry is because it taught me a lot about perseverance. I'm not much of a chemistry, not much of a math person, anything like that. And so this class was a struggle for me. I learned a lot about just myself and about how to persevere and how to get through a class that I really struggle with. And so that's why I chose chemistry for my top pick. Next is the Composition 1. And the reason that I chose Comp 1 is because it taught me just a lot about how to research things, how to just write and write professionally, and how to write professionally within the workplace, and how to find the information that I need when I need it. So definitely an important class. It was also kind of similar to chemistry for me, in just that I learned that you have to really persevere with something that you struggle with. And the third one is technical writing and document design. The reason I chose this class was because it taught me even more than composition did when it comes to the writing process and how to just be a professional writer. And I've used that a ton within my internship, within my personal life up to this point. I mean, the most important thing, you know, things like emails, how to write a professional email, how to structure it, how to write resumes, cover letters correctly, all those things. And so things like that have just helped me out tremendously, and that's why I chose these. Okay, so jumping into my internship a little bit now. So my internship was at Blake Fullenwider Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and it's in Clyde, Texas, Callahan County. So what we do there, we are a vehicle dealership. We sell mainly trucks more than anything, especially heavy duty trucks, and we kind of cater to the oil field. We sell cars and things like that as well, but we are primarily white 3/4 ton diesels. That's what my boss said, and that's the truest thing ever. And so, you know, with the oil crash and with the coronavirus thing going on, that definitely affected our business, because we cater mainly to oil field people. And so Blake Fullenwider started the company early 2000s here in Clyde in this location. He's grown it now to where he has 6 different dealerships and around 200 employees. And Clyde is still the biggest store. We do the most business typically, around 50 employees working there. So it's pretty good business overall. He's doing a really good job with it. We have Ford stores, Chevy stores, Dodge stores, all that sort of thing. So some of my duties there, I was primarily a salesman. That's what I've done pretty much the whole time. And so in doing that, I make cold calls, I post vehicles to social media, I assist anybody who walks in the door. I'm just trying to sell a vehicle any time of the day, basically. That was my role as a salesman. And so also, in the time that I'm not a salesman, which is right now as I record this, I'm in the finance office learning how to do the financing for vehicles. And so that's been the thing that I've enjoyed the most, is learning how to do the financing. But primarily I've been a salesman. So the global issues that kind of have affected us, like I said before, was mainly the oil crash. The actual coronavirus thing, yes, it kept people at home, but people were still buying vehicles that whole time through that. It slowed down a lot. We had a few weeks where we weren't selling hardly anything, but the oil crash hurt us a lot. It hurt vehicle manufacturers, and that's what everybody at our dealership was worried about, was the oil prices instead of the coronavirus. and so that was basically, those 3 weeks hit really hard, but now it's picking back up for sure. We're starting to get a lot more business coming in, selling a lot more vehicles. And so kind of how this related to my education, I feel that my education really prepped me well for a sales job, you know, going back to the agricultural sales. The reason I think that's super important is because, you know, just learning how to sell, learning how people work, learning the sales processes, super invaluable to my education, and also being able to use that in a real job like I have now. So kind of here's some pictures. Here's the finance office here at Blake Fullenwider. Here's me posting some vehicles to Facebook, and there's my first customer who I sold a 2016 Camaro. So college definitely helped me out a lot through this, just to learn how to treat people, how to be a better professional, how to sell things. So a little bit what I learned in the internship itself. Basically, you got to persevere. This internship wasn't always easy, wasn't always fun. It was definitely a job, full-time job. But to be successful with what you want to do, you have to put in the time, put in the effort, you know, kind of put in the work for it. And I've learned a lot about financing, and obviously a lot about sales, and just kind of the nature of the beast as far as both of those go. The thing that I've enjoyed the most out of the whole experience was the financing, but the sales was definitely a good experience. So that's what I learned from the experience. And, you know, to kind of wrap up, I definitely enjoyed the experience most of the time. There were times that, you know, I was ready to be done, but overall I'm glad I got the experience, and I was able to kind of see the way the world works and the way people work and the way business works during a crisis. And so I think that all of those things together just really make this a very unique experience. You know, I definitely don't think that I want to work in car sales. I didn't really want to work in car sales to begin with, but I do know now a little bit more about sales, and so that'll help me find a career in the future, I think. And so overall, pretty grateful for the experience, glad I got to do it, and that's about it. So thank y'all very much for your time.